On today's show, police want to know who is behind a series of laptop thefts from Carolina fraternity houses.
The 2002 Winter Olympics are over. Carolina Week's Nicole Brusick is just back from Salt Lake City with some golden moments from the games.
Plus, some Carolina students were on their feet all weekend long. We'll give you an inside look at the dance marathon with our very own dancers, Joe Disney and Michelle Muscatello.
Stay right here for those stories and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
I'm Brigida Mack.
And I'm Tim Nelson. Thanks for joining us for the February 27th edition of Carolina Week. Our top story tonight, Chapel Hill police continue searching for suspects after a string of laptop computer burglaries over the weekend. They've already made one arrest and hope to make more. Mitch Brigulio now locks his door every time he comes and goes.
Just looking around my room, and I kind of doubled back at my desk and my computer was gone.
His IBM ThinkPad was one of a half-dozen laptop computers stolen last weekend from 5 different UNC-Chapel Hill fraternity houses.
They pulled the USB cord out, they pulled the phone cord out, the mouse, and the hard drive, and just picked it up and left.
Lack of security at Brigulio's Sigma Chi frat house and at the Chi Psi fraternity house, where 2 computers were stolen, made for easy pickings.
Our doors were unlocked.
There are times during the day when people are going in and out and the door might get propped open and not locked, and I think he might have just kind of walked in.
On Monday, Chapel Hill police arrested Devon Withers of Chapel Hill and charged him with 2 counts of first-degree burglary for allegedly stealing the laptops from Chi Psi. Lieutenant Brian Curran says one of those 2 laptops was recovered and says he hopes Withers' arrest will lead to more arrests and more computers.
It's possible that some of these guys at least know each other, but I would say at this point in the investigation it might be a little bit of a stretch to call it a ring.
But it's hardly a stretch to say students, especially those in Greek houses, should keep their guard up. Brigulio found out the hard way, and he and his housemates will do what they can to prevent future thefts.
Our doors are all locked, period. We're gonna check, have them checked every night before we go to bed and in the morning and wake up just to make sure.
Lieutenant Curran added a couple helpful hints for all students to keep laptops and other valuables safe. Don't leave your laptop unattended. Always write down the serial number of your valuables. And since some criminals know Carolina's schedule as well as students, be sure to either lock up your valuables or bring them with you over spring break.
Well, after all the protest and debate, the UNC System Board of Governors is scheduled to consider several tuition increase proposals.
Here's what they'll be considering. One proposal already discussed by the BOG calls for an almost 5% system-wide increase to fund university operations. A second, proposed just last week, calls for a 10% system-wide increase to fund enrollment growth and need-based financial aid. Chapel Hill administrators opposed the 10% proposal because Carolina would contribute about 3 times more than it would receive. And it gets a bit more complex, so bear with us here. As you may know, UNC-Chapel Hill's Board of Trustees passed a 1-year, $400 increase in January.
But the Board of Governors will vote to cap campus-based tuition increases like that one at $250. If the vote on that cap passes, the campus-based increase here will be $250.
But Provost Robert Shelton says he hopes the cap doesn't pass because $400 is the best figure for UNC-Chapel Hill.
We still feel the $400 is critical for this campus because all of that money stays on this campus and we have targeted uses for it, for faculty salaries, for increased number of faculty, for graduate student salaries, and I think that's going to make a big difference in the quality of education here.
The Board of Governors votes next Wednesday in Chapel Hill. We'll have full coverage next week on Carolina Week.
Carolina students could have a new option in the way they pay tuition. University officials recently approved a proposal that will allow students to pay in monthly installments. This will stretch tuition and costs over an entire semester. The new payment option is designed to help those who have trouble making large payments all at one time. The plan will be available in the fall semester.
The debate about night parking on campus is over, for now at least. The Transportation and Parking Advisory Committee is recommending the Department of Public Safety charge all students $5 for the privilege. It's a student fee, so it can be covered by financial aid, and it won't apply to the coming fall semester. Students will have to register their cars with DPS to get a night parking sticker. DPS's budget is still about $1.5 million short. TPAC will meet again this week to decide how to raise the rest of the money.
As student body president Justin Young nears the end of his term, his successor Jen Daum is geared up to take his place. Daum will have lots to do right away. The three biggest issues, parking, tuition, and all that construction, have dominated Young's administration and are issues that Daum will have to face. Young says she'll have to pick up where he left off.
I feel like there are a lot of big issues that Jen is going to have to face that we kind of tipped off on, this year, and it started off, and, we kind of dealt with the brunt of it, but, the long-term effects of it, I think you're going to still have to deal with.
Although Young is entering the last month as SVP, he's still being proactive. His main focus is the Board of Governors' decision regarding the tuition increase.
With the opening of a new addition to UNC hospitals, women and children throughout the Triangle area can finally find care in one convenient location. But not everyone is happy. The new facilities were scheduled to open 2 years ago, and the project came in some $20 million over budget. UNC System President Molly Broad has called for a construction audit to find out how to avoid similar problems in the future. Others are raising questions about how the hospital intends to make up for the extra costs and whether the overruns will result in higher health care fees and insurance rates. Hospital Public Affairs Director Karen McCall says the additional costs won't affect patients in any way.
Any of the increased costs were paid for by our bonds and our bond proceeds. So we're not looking for any increases directly related to this building.
But one insurance official we spoke with says anytime hospital administrators negotiate with insurance companies, their number one priority is covering costs.
As the war against terrorism continues, international organizations are helping families in Afghanistan by distributing food and other necessities. The Raleigh-based group Stop Hunger Now is one of those organizations. President and CEO Ray Buchanan traveled to Afghanistan recently to help organize food distribution and deliver clothing, medicine, and blankets. Educational, religious, and political leaders in Afghanistan put together a list of needy families and gave them ration cards. Buchanan says 30,000 to 35,000 people worldwide die from hunger every day, and a growing number of them are Afghans.
Right now, more people are at risk of hunger in Afghanistan than anywhere else in the world. And for us to realize there's enough food to go around and allow that many people to go hungry on a regular basis, it's inexcusable. It's a moral outrage.
Buchanan made one trip in October and returned from his second on February 21st. In a few weeks, Carolina Week will visit members of a local sewing club who made quilts for Buchanan to take to Afghanistan. Well, this spring break, many UNC-Chapel Hill students will be hitting the road.
And many may not be ready for trouble, car trouble. We'll tell you how to prepare when Carolina Week continues.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
You can't always see problems in the Triangle, but you know they're there. Be part of the solution. Join Leadership Triangle. For information, call 919-549-9840.
Last week, we brought you a story on how sales on Carolina merchandise are up nationwide. But in downtown Chapel Hill, merchants are feeling the effects of a losing men's basketball season. Fans and buyers no longer shop stores on Franklin Street in droves. Businesses that specialize in Carolina merchandise are suffering because of low turnout at games in the Dean Dome. Carolina Pride manager Lynn Clark says fewer fans in the stands means fewer shoppers in the stores.
The fortunes of the basketball team definitely will affect sales. You know, if the team is in a slump, then sales will be down. If the team is doing well, then fans will be excited and they'll be out wanting to make purchases.
Merchants say the poor Tar Heel season isn't the only thing affecting the attitudes of fans and buyers. The events of September 11th and the sluggish economy share in the blame as well.
Cancun, Miami, Key West. These are just a few popular spring break beach destinations for Carolina students. But with vacation a little more than a week away, some students are finding other ways to spend their week. Habitat for Humanity is one of the many groups on campus offering alternative spring break trips. Students are going to Fort Lauderdale and the Honduras to build houses for those in need. Students say these trips are a good way to combine service and fun. Many students are driving to their spring break destinations. Carolina Week's Aaron Dubois tells us how to avoid a road tripper's worst spring break nightmare, car trouble.
Spending just a few minutes looking under this could save you hours of problems down the road. Can you do a quick tune-up?
I don't really know how to do that too much.
I don't know how to do it.
I can't check anything on my car.
Never done it.
Mechanic Johnny Killo says there's plenty any of us can do.
Going on a trip, first thing I would check would be the motor oil. Check the oil, you wipe your stick off, stick it back in there, and pull it out. The lower mark is the low. This particular car is full, the oil is dirty, needs to be changed. Check your air pressure in your tires. Best time of all to check air pressure in a tire is in the mornings. I would advise putting maybe 38 pounds of air in it. A tire is the only thing keeping you from the road. Another thing that is overlooked is the air filters in them. You don't check things like that, it gives you problems, and you pay for it as you know, going down the road.
You don't realize how dirty this is until you see what it's supposed to look like. This is a new one. If you change these every time you change your oil, you'll wind up saving yourself a tank of gas in a year because all this dirt blocks the air going to your engine and you don't burn gas as efficiently.
It didn't cost anything to check, but it might cost in the long run if you don't check.
So check under the hood before you hit the road. In Chapel Hill, I'm Aaron Dubois, Carolina Week.
If you want to know more about what goes on under your hood, log on to our website at carolinaweek.org.
A UNC-Chapel Hill professor has spent the past 7 years putting together a puzzle made of bones, and now we can all see it. This new, still unnamed species lived more than 220 million years ago, before the golden age of dinosaurs. It was the dominant predator in its day and resembled a large, long-legged alligator. 2 UNC undergraduates discovered the first bones 7 years ago in eastern North Carolina, and a full replica is now on display. Professor Joe Carter calls it the most important fossil find in North Carolina history, and he says the thrill of finding a matching piece has kept him going.
It was like being in Las Vegas with a slot machine. You almost give up, your last quarter is almost gone, and then you pull the lever down and you hit the jackpot, and it gives you the sort of adrenaline rush to keep on going.
You can see the replica of the fossil on display in the Graham Memorial Building.
Well, with all this talk of the prehistoric age, it's kind of feeling like the ice age outside.
It certainly is. The big weather story this week is definitely the cold weather, and I'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes. But first, let's go to this week's weather question, which is, the sky is blue because sunlight is scattered by dust, nitrogen and oxygen, water vapor, or ozone. I'll be back with the answer to your weather question, and I'll let you know how this cold weather will affect your weekend forecast just after the break.
Did you know that 1,600 children are infected with HIV worldwide every day? The mission of the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation is to give children a future of hope. The foundation funds pediatric research to ensure that children are at the forefront of every scientific breakthrough. Every child deserves the chance to live a healthy life. Help give a child that chance.
Support the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
What could you do with a free hour of your day?
Take a jog, wash your car, bake a cake, or watch TV.
Ever thought about giving blood? It only takes an hour. It saved my life. Someday it may save yours.
A single pint of blood can save 3 lives. Be a hero. Give blood.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, freezing cold temperatures and a bitter wind are making outdoor activities in general feel pretty uncomfortable, but it hasn't stopped these students from organizing a lost and found booth outdoors. Temperatures in the 30s and winds at 25 miles per hour certainly have it feeling like winter again, and these beautiful flowers are just a reminder of the springtime teas that we had last week. Well, if you're sniffling and sneezing already, it might be because of more than just this sudden Arctic chill we're seeing. Because of our mild winter, we are already seeing pollen levels in the extremely high range for tree pollen, that is. Luckily, grass pollen won't start to affect people's health until about mid-April, and very fortunately, ragweed won't really start to be a problem for allergy sufferers until the end of summer. Well, let's go and take a look at the satellite map to see if we can explain what's causing this cold weather. And here it is. You can see North Carolina is in a pretty dry spot, and we've got some snow out to the west, and rain has swept off till the east. Now, the thing is, we've got very, very strong northwesterly winds that are keeping the surface temperatures very, very cold despite a lot of sunshine. And if we take a look at the surface forecast map, we can see what's heading our way over the next couple of days. We're going to be under the influence of a very strong region of high pressure, and that's going to keep those winds churning, and it's going to keep those temperatures pretty low as we head into the weekend. But if we take a look at the Carolina Week 4-day forecast, you can see that the weekend forecast is actually a pretty wet one. Friday, we will see mostly sunny skies with a high of 52 and a very, very chilly low of 23. On Saturday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, and clouds will start to increase as we head into the afternoon. A high of 50 on Saturday and 32 as your low. Now Sunday, we really start to see a chance of rain pretty much throughout the day. It'll keep temperatures mild though. A high of about 53 to 54 and a low of 37. And as we head into next week, we see temperatures pretty mild, but the extended outlook is, I have to say, looking pretty cold once again. So spring break might be, will probably be very much anticipated by the time we get through all of this. Now, if your weekend plans include a trip to the beach, take a look at the forecast. It'll be a bit more mild down there than it will be up here in Chapel Hill. 58 on Saturday, 57 on Sunday. And lows will be in the 40s. Now, if the mountains are in your weekend plans, let's take a look at the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies through most of the weekend. A chance of snow on Saturday, high of 43 on Saturday, and getting up to 52 on Sunday. And we all know that cold temperatures are always good news for North Carolina ski slopes. They will be looking forward to creating more snow and opening more slopes. If you're planning on taking advantage of those last couple weeks of the ski season, you can expect 9 trails to be open in Appalachian, 5 in Cataloochee, 13 in Ski Beach, and 19 trails will be open up in Sugar Mountain. So that might be a good bet for this cold weekend ahead. Anyone want to take a guess at why is the sky blue?
I'll take a stab at it. Is it because of ozone?
No, it's actually because of nitrogen and oxygen. They scatter the light and give us that beautiful Carolina blue sky.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. Appreciate it. Well, Ben, it's almost spring, but it was the football team that took a blow this week.
So who is going to be playing quarterback next season?
Well, start working at that arm. We might have some open auditions in the summer. But first, as we go to break, the men's basketball team will wrap up a long and difficult season this week. The Heels host Clemson on Wednesday for senior night, then travel to Duke for the season finale with their arch rival. A win against the hated Devils could ease the pain for many Carolina fans, but don't get your hopes up. Carolina Week Sports returns after this.
Hey, Lena, where's yours?
I can listen. I can cook.
Good. I can coach.
Kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
I can drive.
I can paint.
I can dance.
A little of your time can make a lifetime of difference.
I can read.
I can help. You can help. Call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313 to find out about community drug prevention programs.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. Spring sports kick into high gear this coming weekend, while winter sports head into the championship stretch. The women's basketball team travels to Greensboro for the ACC tournament, where the Heels are the #2 seed behind Duke, which went undefeated in conference play. The men's swimming and diving squad will have its chance to take the conference title after the women won conference last week. Carolina football planned to return 8 starters on offense, including record-setting quarterback Darian Durant, who is poised to be the Heels' full-time starter in the fall. All that changed on Monday when Durant announced he is transferring to another university at the end of the semester, citing personal reasons for his decision. This past season, Durant threw for Carolina freshman records of 1,843 yards and 17 touchdowns, while splitting time with senior Ronald Curry. And though he debated the decision for the past 3 weeks, the news still shocked the Tar Heel coaches. Even so, Durant felt it was time for a change.
I've pondered over this a long time, thought hard about it, and I feel like it's the best thing for me to do.
Am I concerned about this? You're doggone right. But once again, I'm not going to dwell on it. First of all, it's not my personality. I'm going to go on, and I'm excited about the players that are here.
Durant's departure raises the question, who's next for the Tar Heels? The leading candidates are current freshmen Matt Baker and Terrence Highsmith, as well as Florida transfer C.J. Stevens. All three have combined to take only 1 snap ever in a college game, and many people believe Stevens has the early lead for the starting position. The Carolina baseball team is finally getting back into the swing of things. After starting the season 1-3, the Heels have won 3 straight. The latest triumph came Tuesday at Boshamer Stadium against UNC by the Sea. Hawks strike first, grabbing a 2-0 advantage in the 4th inning, but the lead wouldn't last as Ryan Blake doubles with men on, and the boys in blue wouldn't look back. Heels tack on 5 more. UNCW can only muster 1. Heels win 6-3. Carolina is now 4-3 on the season. The 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City have come to a close. The 17-day extravaganza was held in the Rocky Mountain of Utah, and Carolina Week's own Nicole Brusick had the opportunity to attend the game. She joins us now for a look back at some of the memorable moments.
78 countries from around the world sent their best athletes to compete on what Utah calls the greatest snow on earth. And although only a handful took home Olympic medals, many people are calling these Winter Games the most successful ever.
I missed out not being here.
Best feelings ever.
It's so fantastic, Olympic Games. Must be the best organized so far.
Although the torch has been extinguished and the flags lowered, Salt Lake City can be proud of its Olympic Games. For 2 weeks, the world united under one flag.
Then I'm coming from Sweden, lives in Stockholm. From Norway.
I'm actually from Boise.
All these people came to see their athletes give gold medal performances.
Olympic athletes spend their whole life training to perfect a single sport, and then they arrive at the Olympic Games to showcase their talent in only a few moments or in just a few seconds, like here at the K120 ski jumping competition.
Like ski jumping, most events were decided by a few milliseconds or fractions of points. But in some cases, the points just didn't add up. When the games ended, the final medal count had Germany on top with 35, but the United States' record-setting 34 was a close second. But these games won't be remembered just for the medals. The caps, crowds, and ceremonies, the security, smiles, and celebration of the Olympic spirit will not be forgotten.
2 athletes from the state of North Carolina won Olympic medals at these games. Joey Cheek received the bronze medal for his performance in the 1,000-meter speed skate, and Randy Jones got the silver in the 4-man bobsled. Back to you, Ben.
Well, this Wednesday night is senior night for the basketball team, last home game, and I'm a little disappointed in Coach Doherty. I'm not going to get to start tonight.
It's too bad. Probably wouldn't have made much of a difference if you were starting, though.
Can't hurt him.
I guess that's a low blow there. Anyway, most people know the dance marathon raises money for the kids. But what's it like inside the marathon?
We'll take you through 24 hours at the marathon, where Carolina Week's own Joe Disney and Michelle Muscatello dance the night, the morning, and the afternoon away when Carolina Week returns.
asthma attack. I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
It's an event we've been talking about for months. This weekend, all the talk ended and the dancing started.
The 4th annual UNC Dance Marathon raised more than $120,000 for the North Carolina Children's Hospital. But it's the experience of dancing that's the real story.
It's Friday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. The next time we'll leave this gym, it'll be Saturday at 7 p.m. I'm Joe Disney.
And I'm Michelle Muscatello. We'll show you what it's like to be a dancer in the 24-hour dance marathon. Joe, you're looking strong, but I don't know if you're gonna make it. So what do you do when you're standing on your feet for 24 hours?
Well, there's basketball, dancing, eating, dancing, studying, watching a band, and when all else fails, there's always dancing.
Some of Carolina's newsmakers made it out to the dance floor. They decided to let their feet do the talking. Almost.
Folks would ask me, like, why are you running for student body president? I was like, to get ready for Dance Marathon.
I think basketball is what's been keeping me going the whole 24 hours.
Speaking of sports, is that the national championship men's soccer team? And what are they doing? Better keep your day jobs, guys.
I don't think my career is going to be on the stage.
Michelle and I soon found out that the marathon wasn't all fun and games.
By the middle of the night, people were feeling the pain.
The worst part is my hips from all the moving back and forth.
My lower back from just standing still. And finding the oddest ways to relieve it.
We were trying to do something where like you lean back and kind of like have your leg over so you can not really be sitting but kind of have the feel that you are.
In the final hours, families of the North Carolina Children's Hospital made the aches in our feet disappear and showed us the real reason we were dancing.
You can save the world. A world with a child. You can help her or him be emotionally strong and build their self-confidence. And for that, I thank you.
Before we knew it, 24 hours had passed.
3, 2, 1!
Well, it's finally over. Tired and sore in Chapel Hill, I'm Michelle Muscatello.
And Joe Disney.
Carolina Week.
Well, that sure looked like a lot of fun. I heard that you were out there dancing.
I was there with Joe and Michelle. Lots of fun, a few tears, quite a few laughs, and a lot of sleeping on Sunday morning.
Well, it seems like you're just dancing all over the place. Our very own Tim Nelson danced his way into the first place of the Hearst National Broadcast News Competition. Congratulations,
You're
Tim.
such a jerk for bringing that up, but I couldn't have done it without Callie Tainter. We did it together. Thank you, Callie. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to watch again next week.
Until then, have a good night and a good week.
Good night.